Tell your story. Shout it, write it, whisper it if you have to, but tell it. Some won't understand it, some will outright reject it, but many will thank you for it. Eventually, one by one, voices will start whispering, "Me too." And your tribe will gather. This is Bridging the Silence with Kerry Washira.
How I see families relate to their children these days, I feel like my parents would have done better. I'm not responsible for my background. I'm not responsible for where I came from. I'm not responsible for whatever happened to my parents. I'm not responsible for the fact that I didn't have a very good, engageful relationship with my parents. I'm not responsible for that. But I'm definitely responsible for the type of a person I want to become. My faith in God made me understand that there's a future for me, that everybody has their own future and there's a future for me. So my faith in God made me have faith that things will be better, even if right at this point in time it doesn't show.
Beda Olab
Himself.
in the flesh. Very good friend of mine, first of all, and also one of the greatest anatomists in this country. I think, you're very humble, because if it was me, I would be putting it everywhere. Because I think every medical student you ask definitely has heard of you. I've interacted with your videos. Either you've taught them from time to time, because you've been teaching for how many years now?
It's been a while. Okay, depends at what level of teaching.
Okay.
Yeah, because I started teaching when I was in second year in medical students.
Hey, some of us. So second year of medical school, when the rest of us were fighting for our life and struggling with grades, you were teaching.
Well, we are also fighting for my life in a different way.
Okay. To get to innovate. Okay, that's interesting. So you taught from second year med school
Yes,
all the way until now. You're still teaching, of
I'm
course.
still teaching, yes.
So that's very, very many years.
Yes, so that would be close to, I'm doing the arithmetics, so close to 20 years.
Close to 20 years.
Yes.
Calculated, Okay. So close to 20 years of teaching, and you've been uploading videos for also quite a long time right now.
Since COVID.
What was the inspiration behind that?
So when COVID started, it was a time that everybody was brought into confusion of whether are we going to wait for COVID to end before we open up our doors for classes. Nobody knew when it's going to end, and so we had to be innovative on how we teach. So that's when the online teaching started. So when the online teaching started, at that time I was teaching in multiple universities, because I was in University of Nairobi, my main employer, but I was also part-time faculty in multiple universities, including Aga Khan, where I am currently. As at that time, I would give lectures online, but I realized that when I'm giving lecture online, perhaps I would feel like I wish I recorded the previous one. I would have just given them to watch, and then I answer questions. And also it came with the challenges when having real-time online class. People will complain of internet issues, or they have dropped off and things like that. Things which were beyond my control, definitely. But you still want students to have an experience of learning. So that's when I realized that I can actually record, and then they watch at their pace. And then when we have that live online session, I can use that to answer queries that they have. So that will reduce the over-reliance on the internet at a particular time. It will also advantage anybody who didn't have access to internet at a particular time. It will also advantage people who had different types of schedule, where they'd prefer to watch the video at their pace at night or something like that and write their own notes. So it advantage them. So that's when the inspiration came that I can record.
Yeah.
So when I started recording, then initially started dissipating the videos using Telegram. But now Telegram doesn't have a cloud, or at least at that time didn't have a cloud where I can attach all of them, then the access. So that's when the idea of YouTube came up. So I decided to just upload them on YouTube. Yeah. My initial recordings were actual class session that I'm having with a particular group of students, and I'm recording them. Then now those are the ones I'll upload for the others. But subsequently, I've learned better how to do it. So these days, I just record myself. I'm the only one in the space, and I just record a clean one that is independent of anybody who is listening. So my current videos are not having students in the background at that time, because it envisions a scenario where you are wherever you are, but you're still able to get context. The initial ones were more contextualized on some particular class, because I would even call names of people and things like that. Which
yeah, that's by the It's like, Nani, amefanya hivyo. You're laughing all the time with my classmates. It's like, where? But kids are nice feel, honestly, because you feel like you're still in class.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, even if you're in a remote location, there's still that feel that I'm in med school.
Yes.
And I have classmates.
Yes.
And this is a lecturer teaching.
Yes.
So that's very interesting. Now, napenda masomo, by the way, because you have your masters. I think you are doing your PhD. You finished your PhD?
Not yet. Starting. But yes, I have BSc Anatomy, I have MBCHB, I have M.Med in Radiology, and I have MSc in Anatomy. Only four.
Only four. Wait, but why radiology now? Like, why did you?
Two major reasons why I did radiology. One is that I needed to have a clinical, a master's of medicine.
Yeah.
I needed to have a master's of medicine because I was interacting, and I still do interact with the students who are basically medical, including at undergraduate and postgraduate level. Yeah. Now, for me to be able to, in a better situation, to perhaps supervise a student who is doing masters of medicine, it only made sense that I also need to have that masters of medicine. So I did M.Med Radiology because I needed to be relevant in the system of academia. The second reason why I chose radiology is because radiology is very close to anatomy in terms of how we see things. Actually, it's a different way of looking at anatomy, and I would say it's a living anatomy. It's the anatomy that we now practice in clinical scenario. You know, the anatomy that we teach, the dry anatomy, the cadaveric lab, you need to link that with the anatomy of the patient. So radiology brings the anatomy of the patient into life. So for me, anatomy and radiology was really supporting much of my anatomy interests.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now maybe for the people who may not know what this anatomy is and what this radiology is, maybe you can just briefly.
Well, anatomy is the study of the structure of the human body, and we do this in different ways. There are different ways of learning it. For you to be a doctor or a nurse or a pharmacist, a clinical officer, public health specialist, anything that is related to handling human beings, it is important that you know this human being, their structure, and also how they function before you know what abnormalities go in. So anatomy is the study of the structure. Then physiology is the study of the function of the body. There's another term called pathology, which is now the study of the abnormalities. So for me, I'm concerned mainly with the anatomy, the study of the structure. In the study of the structure of the human body, we basically look at, most of the time, 3 dimensions. One is what we call gross anatomy. So we look at it from how we study the structure using the naked eye. And then there's what we call microscopic anatomy, where we study the structure using microscope. These are for the things we cannot see. So we have to look at them under microscope so that we magnify. So basically studying the structure at cellular level and organelle level. And then we have developmental anatomy, which we generally call embryology, which is the study of prenatal developmental process, basically the things that happen before a baby is born. So we do this because we want to understand birth defects. So we need to know what's the normal process and what would go wrong. Then you have abnormal things like now when you see a baby is born without a limb or something like that, or maybe they have some lesions on the back, maybe there's no brain or there's little brain present, what may have gone wrong. So that's what we call abnormalities. Embryology help us to study the abnormalities. So basical anatomy focuses on all those. There could be different other terminology that other people may use, like radiological anatomy, surface anatomy, living anatomy, and things like that. But generally, anatomy is the study of the structure of the body. Yes.
And so what inspired you to be an anatomist? Let's start there as we work backwards. Or did you always want to be an anatomist?
Not quite. I didn't even know what anatomy is until I came to first year. However, well, in high school, I had a glimpse, and I wouldn't really say that really strongly inspired me. Rather, I wouldn't say that made me feel like I want to do this thing, but yes, it made me feel like this is an interesting thing. That was in high school. So the book I did is The River and the Source. And there was a character there called Aoro and the girlfriend called Wandia. And they used to compete in anatomy.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so it made me feel like this anatomy was a good, not the competition part, but more of how they describe their experience around anatomy scenario. So it made me feel like I wouldn't mind going through that kind of a thing. So that's the closest I came to anatomy. But now when I joined first year in University of Nairobi and I started doing anatomy, learning anatomy, I got interested in it. My performance in it was also good, and I loved dissection so much. And so I used to be the one dissecting almost all the time. And that made me develop even more interest because through dissection, I came to also learn much of the gross anatomy of the body. It made me look forward to the next session when you're going to the lab. So over time, the interest grew and the marks were also encouraging. And then during that particular time, I learned that if you pass really well in anatomy, the Department of Human Anatomy at University of Nairobi can take you back as what they call demonstrator, so that you start teaching anatomy even while you're still going on with your medical school learning. And that inspired me because as at that time I was struggling financially. Like I didn't have anybody supporting me from home. But this time my mother had passed on and my father was also ailing. And I knew that we are not going to go far because I'd already known that he was suffering from HIV. So with that in mind, I needed to position myself. So when I had that there's an opportunity to pass well in anatomy so that I can get an opportunity to teach and get some money, I said I'll go for it. So the inspiration was partly because I loved anatomy, but also partly because it was an opportunity for me to be self-reliant financially. Yes.
Okay. And so in this time then, maybe the first couple of years, or maybe let's just work back with high school first, then we come to med school.
Okay.
So high school, you were interested in anatomy eventually, or like was that a different career that you were thinking about throughout, or it was like medicine and then you...
No, actually in high school I was not even interested in being a doctor. No.
Okay.
I wanted to do electrical engineering.
Oh wow.
In high school.
That's interesting.
To the extent that I actually did electricity as a unit in my high school, from Form 1 to Form 4. And passed with an A in high school in electricity. That was a big thing. Passing with in electricity was a big thing. But yes, I did. So I was interested in doing electrical engineering. But when I was in Form 4, when you are filling the university placement, yes, those forms for courses for university.
Yeah.
So I filled in electrical engineering as number 1, and I filled medicine as number 2. I don't remember what I feel as number 3 and number 4. Must have been mechanical engineering, then number 4 law or something.
Yeah.
So when one of my teachers saw what I'd filled, he advised me to change so that medicine becomes 1 and electrical engineering becomes 2. It's a compromise I didn't mind interchanging, and so I actually interchanged at that time. But my original interest was actually electrical engineering. Yes.
So would you go into it right now?
Not necessarily, because I think I have a lot of satisfaction in what I'm doing at the moment. I don't. It's a decision I don't regret. I have a lot of satisfaction in teaching anatomy. Yes.
So let's come to Beda before the doctor.
Okay.
When you're in med school now, what was day one? What was day one like? Just entering med school and just paint us that picture.
First, I didn't report in time like my colleagues. I reported some days late because of, again, financial reasons. Yes, I got the admission letter, but I didn't have anything else apart from the admission letter. And you can't give your admission letter as fee.
Yeah.
So I reported quite late after my colleagues had already joined. My father was processing some loan that took a while to come by because of other reasons based on his workplace at that time. He was still alive at that time. So that made me not join in good time. So I missed a lot about orientation into university and things like that. When I joined, luckily I joined when they just started the classes. So I'd missed maybe 1 or 2 class, but the whole of week 1 of orientation I missed. Then I joined in week 2. They'd just done a few classes, so I was able to catch up. I would say it was a bit first disorienting with the knowledge that my colleagues have taken a head start. It was very disorienting. Luckily, I had a good support system because there was another friend of mine whom we came from the same high school. So we would communicate frequently, and he would update me on what has happened so far and things like that. So I was able to catch up. Yes, thanks to him because he was there. Yes, but it was a bit disorienting to say the least. Yeah.
So you mentioned that during this time, I think by the time you entered med school, said your mom had already passed away.
Yes, my mom passed on before I joined medical school. Then my father passed on when I was in first year, like a few weeks to end of year or first year. Yeah.
And so what was going through young Beda's mind at that point? Like now you're in med school, both of your parents are passed on. Like what's going through your mind in this moment?
It's a difficult situation to be in, but one thing that kept on in my head is that I have my life and they have their life. One thing that was clear to me after I realized that my mother died of HIV is the fact that my father was going to die soon. That was very clear. And that I don't have to follow them. So I knew that I needed to think about my future as an individual, not collectively. I knew that, yes, they'll support me, or at least by this time, my father will support me only to some extent. But much of that weight was on me. That was very clear on my head. So, however unfortunate the scenario was, it's a reality I had to accept, especially after I discovered what killed my mother. It was not easy to accept, though. It was a long journey of accepting. But once I accepted, it made it easier for me to start handling how to go about being self-dependent. Yes.
So how long did that, in the grieving process and everything, how long did that take about?
I had to mention because I remember I had ups and downs. I remember even when I was in third year, I still break down. I broke down and thinking about the whole thing. I broke down during internship when I thought about the whole thing. I broke down. My last breakdown was post internship. I think after that, I've never had a deeper emotional experience related to the same. But that just to say that it's very difficult to say now the grief ended at this point. I think it's a journey. Once in a while you stabilize, then one day you start reflecting on things and everything just overwhelms you. But the frequency of the emotional breakdown become less and less over time. That's what I can say. Yeah, because at the time that they were passing on, my mother passing on, I thought I was strong. And yes, I didn't have a lot of breakdowns at that time. So everybody thought I'm fine. And I also knew I'm fine. But over time, when I'm alone and reflecting, you realize that there's a gap in my life that I wish was different. Worsened by when I interact also sometimes with my colleagues whom maybe their parents were there and you see how well they're being treated and you feel like this is what I missed in my life. It feels good and bad. Good in the sense that you feel like this is nice to be treated that way. Then you feel bad that you are never treated that way. Well, mine was a bit complicated because even when they were alive, again, such kind of treatment was not there. So it's
Wow. It's the contrast.
so you don't know.
Like, I don't know what to feel right now.
Yeah, but that aside, yeah, so I'm unable to say this when the grief ended. What I know is that over time, the intensity of what happened reduced. There are times that I knew that I'm over this story, but there are times when I narrate this story, tears still come as well. So I wouldn't really say this is when it ended. But one thing I know is that I made peace with it. Yes. Yeah.
And then you mentioned something that just brought up a question in my mind. You said that you weren't necessarily treated the way others were per se treated. So I guess my question is, what was your relationship like with your parents?
Very abstract. My father was okay. My mother and my father for a long time when I was, let me use the term older, they are not staying together. Not because they're separated in the marriage, but because my father used to be in Nandi Hills where he used to work. And my mother used to be at home in the village in Homa Bay where she also took care of the land and the farm that was there. So they basically stayed apart. We'd stay more with our father because that's where we used to go to primary school. But that time that there was some clashes in the country, so we moved from Nandi Hills went home in Nyanza. We stayed with our mother. My experience of living with my father and living with my mother are very different. My father was somebody that you may not have a lot of relationship with. Not because he was bad, but because we didn't quite connect in terms of bonding. He was there. I wouldn't say he was not there. He was there like there's no day he slept outside. He would come home. Well, sometimes late, but not that when he came early that we'll have bonding time. Yeah. So he was father figure. He was there. If we needed something, we'll tell him. Whether it's available, that's another matter, but at least we can talk. So my relation with my dad was very transactional. My relationship with my mother was very relational. We could bond, and especially when I was in higher primary and early high school, I bonded a lot with my mother because during the holidays, I would go home now to visit her and we'll talk. I remember our talks used to be sometimes up to 4 a.m. in the morning because sometimes I'll just go visit for 2 days. So those days I'm there, we just there talking. I don't remember even what we used to talk about after today, but I know we used to talk. So it took so yes, my relation with my mother was very relational, and I love that part because I think those are the things now I reflect back and I used to feel like I miss it, that one. That aside, how I see families relate with their children these days, I feel like my parents would have done better. Yes, when I compare how other parents treat their children or how some children relate with their parents, it makes me feel like there's a very big gap on my family that they would have done better, much better. Yes.
Maybe in what way have you, I mean, now you're assuming you're a parent.
Yes, your assumptions are good.
Okay.
Yes.
So how has that changed the way you parent right now? Maybe you can go into
They're still very young. My eldest is just turned 3. So, but it has made me to know that I have to be very intentional about every process in their life. It has made me to realize. So I'm trying to create what I would have loved, how I would have loved to be treated. That's what I'm trying to do to them. How I would have loved to be treated. I'm trying to create that model where, we hear how parenting should be done. So we're in an age where information is available. So you're told this is okay, this is not okay, this is okay, this is not okay. So I filter what I get, then I see, okay, this is how I want to model my family. So one thing that I know that has made the whole story has inspired me is to be very intentional on how I relate to my children. Yes.
That's powerful. I just had to take a yeah, I was like, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So how about siblings? Any siblings you had?
Yes, I am second born. My elder brother, unfortunately, he didn't go beyond class 7, so he's usually just at home. Yes, but he's farming at home. My younger sister is married already. She got married like some 2 years ago, 2 years ago. There's a gap between me and her, a very big gap, because she's born 1995. I was born 1982. A big gap, but the gap is because there were 3 other siblings that passed on at their infancy stage between me and her. So we are 3 living, but we were born 6. Yes. Yeah.
Just maybe now fast forwarding into med school. So just amidst, you talked about your childhood, you talked about what was going on at the beginning of med school. So what was your support system like?
Multiple. When I was in medical school, one thing I intentionally retained a very strong relationship with my CU patron in high school.
Yeah.
So he was and still is up to today. We still talk. He's one of my mentors. And through that, I would talk to him about matters that I felt were a bit draining once in a while. Well, we don't talk frequently. I'm not usually I don't know how to engage so much in constant, frequent conversations.
Really? Are you sure? Okay.
I don't know how to do it. So for me, you can be my friend and we talk once a year and I'm good.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the best
And I
types of friendship.
still put you as one of my close friends. Yeah, that's me. So when I'm applauding myself that I'm in very engageful conversation with him, he may have a different story.
We say huyu tumeongea last year amekuja ya yearly. Okay.
Yeah, but from my end, satisfactorily, I'm still engaged with him. We talk at least 3-4 times a year. Sometimes I visit him. Sometimes he visits me. Yeah, we engage a lot, in my view. So he is there. He was there when I was in high school, because the issues to do with my family in terms of finances were not new. Even in high school, they're still there. Because based on what I've told you, my father used to earn 2,000 shillings per month as his salary.
A month.
Yes, per month. That was his salary at that time. And the fee that I was paying in Capsed Boys that time, I went to Capsed Boys High School. The fee was like 26,000 per year. So definitely my father could not afford. So there were some struggles. My mother, whatever she was earning, was not giving money. It was enough for her mouth. So basically, the struggles were there. And I'd shared this with my CU patron. So he used to work with me to get the family. And through that, we bonded. So when I transited to college, they even supported me, giving me some clothes just to start up life in college. Apparently, they turned out to be the only clothes I had. The one they gave me. Because the ones I used to had holes behind, so I couldn't use them in Nairobi.
They've been getting you. Okay.
So the ones they gave me turned out to be the only clothes I had, especially in my first year of medical school. Anyway, so he was there together with his family, with his wife, or rather, they both worked with me. And once in a while, when I'm in college, I would go to visit them. They moved from Capsed Boys to Moi Forces Lanet, and that would be nearer for me. So sometimes I take a weekend break and just go visit them. The other support system I had was my high school mate, the one I referred to. So in high school, I was index 1, he was index 4. We were close so much in college more than high school. But at least because we came from the same high school, the only one from our school, inevitably we had to be the closest friends now. So he was also my support system. I later realized that he was also having almost similar financial challenges like me. But that made us birds of the same feather.
Well, relate.
So, not that he was supporting me or me supporting him, but at least we could feel like we are not alone. Yes. So he was a good support system for me. The third support system was when I was in college now. Interestingly, my anatomy teacher, we came to bond together.
Okay. So it's continue the cycle. Okay,
yes, he's currently, he's called Professor Geng. He's still teaching anatomy. He was the former DVC Academic Affairs at University of Nairobi. So he was my mentor. He's still my mentor up to today. Yeah, we still talk. So at that time when I was in first year, after I got into medical school, so I would work with him with matters concerning academics. He was my good mentor concerning academics. My colleague, who is called, we used to call him KK, but it's called Ezekiel Mutai, is a doctor like me. So he was my support system with regard to basically colleagues. My high school teacher and the wife were my support system in matters of spirituality and also just matters of social skills, basically. There's also another part, my high school teacher, the one I'm referring to, connected with another mission organization who then used to help me financially when I was really stuck. So that brings in another dimension. There's another mission organization that also supported me when I was in first year. Yeah, so it was headed by somebody called Reverend Dawkins. It was under Trinity Fellowship, so they used also to work with me. So we'd have meetings maybe once in a month, and we just talk about our experience. But that aside, at least they'll give me some pocket money. Yes, so yeah, I would say those are my support system generally. None really from home, none from any of my relative, at least at that time. Occasionally, one of my aunt used to help also financially, especially upon when I request. So she was there as a financial support, but not necessarily emotional support or anything conversational. It was more of, auntie, I'm really on the edge, then she would help. But we had an arrangement where she would actually support just my rental entering into university, and that's it. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I like that you mentioned even that you were mentored, because now I think many people even know this about you, that you really go out of your way to mentor a lot of medical students. I think myself included anyway, in terms of just checking up on us after exams, just seeing how we are doing throughout, and there are quite a number that you can. I just want to say really
Yes, it is inspired by life story.
inspired the tree, we really do appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I realized that it's a defining moment, and sometimes the game changer in someone's life.
Yeah.
That's what I realized.
Yeah.
So I said, if I have the energy and if I am able to, I'll give it my best. Yeah. Yeah.
You talked about CU patron, you talked about spirituality. So, assuming you are Christian, I know that, but yeah, yes. So, how's your journey of faith like? Like, maybe we can even say throughout life, now that we've painted the whole picture.
Well, I am a Christian. I am born again. That means that I subscribe to the fact that Jesus Christ is my savior.
Need to clarify that. Very important. Very important.
Yes, so yeah, that's my faith in Christ. I fellowship at CITAM Valley Road. CITAM is Christ Danta Ministry, Valley Road. I'm engaged in some church activities, but to answer your question, my journey of faith, I found what I'm calling faith when I was in primary school, class 7, transiting to class 8. That's when I came to this accepting and commitment to Christ. Not that I didn't know about Christ before, but that's the time I made personal commitments. Thereafter, went to high school. So strongly, I was in the Christian Union, served as part of the leadership in Form 3 as well as Form 4. Form 3, I was the treasurer. Form 4, I was the organizing secretary. Came to medical school. I was still attached to the medical school Christian Union, where in second year, third year, I also served as one of the leadership in the class fellowships. Then moving to third year, fourth year, and part of fifth year, I served in the general medical school Christian Union as the treasurer, not as the treasurer, as the prayer secretary for 2 years. After that, I've served in the advisory board of Medical School Christian Union and even served as a patron. Actually, I was the patron until I came to Aga Khan when I dropped that patronage, but I'm still in the advisory board. I am born again, and yes, of course, it's an individual journey. So my understanding or my commitment is that I want to live a life that Christ is happy about. Yeah.
What how you define success?
No, that's not how I define success.
All right.
Yes, I don't even know how I define success. But now that you've asked, yes, I think success has multiple dimensions, so to speak. But central to that now, my inner belief system. Central to that is really the key understanding that I've lived a life that is fulfilling before God. For me, that is very key.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm.
So how important was your faith in med school?
I would say it's one of the things that held me strong, because my faith in God made me understand that life is still better than death, in as much as I would feel like killing myself based on the things I went through. My faith in God made me understand that there's a future for me, that everybody has their own future and there's a future for me. So my faith in God made me have faith that things would be better, even if right at this point in time it doesn't show. Yeah, that's what we call faith. It's the evidence of things not seen. And I had to remind myself that the moment there's an evidence, it is not faith.
Which is so interesting, big anatomy. But everything is so concrete. Okay.
Yeah. The moment there's an evidence, there's no faith. It's actually reality. It's a fact.
Yeah.
But when there's no evidence, now it's faith.
That's faith.
Yes. And we are called to a journey of faith. Yes.
Okay. And you have a very ambitious spirit, I can tell. Like with everything you set your mind to, you really are resilient and persistent with pursuing it. Where does that come from?
And it's come from you realizing what you're able to do and what you can't do. There are many things that I haven't done, which I know that I can do. So it's about choosing what you're able to do.
Yeah.
Mine is the belief that I can't do everything, that we are all empowered and endowed differently. So what is within my capacity to do, let me just do to my best. I believe in excellence. I don't like shoddy job. I'd rather take something and do it or not take it at all. I don't like 50-50 things. Yeah. I like, because I look at it what I would love somebody to do for me. If somebody chooses to teach me or help me in a particular journey, then just be committed to that. So maybe most of the things I do have been inspired by both positive and negative experience I've had in life, that both have helped to shape what I want people to have of me. Yeah. Yes. So I'm inspired by both negative and positive events that happen in life.
That's interesting. So I'm wondering now, if you were to tell medical students who are currently now in the same or similar circumstances that you were in med school, maybe all that was going on, what would you tell them right now?
One of the things that kept on in my head when I was going through whatever I was going through is that I'm not responsible for my background. I'm not responsible for where I came from. I'm not responsible for whatever happened to my parents. I'm not responsible for the fact that I didn't have a very good, engaged, full relationship with my parents. I'm not responsible for that. But I'm definitely responsible for the type of a person I want to become. That one was very clear. I knew that I don't have control over the birds that fly on the sky around my head, but the one that make a nest on my head,
you can do something about it.
Can do something about that one. Yeah. So in many words, I am responsible for choices that lead me to my future. That was very strong with me. So it's just up to me to decide what kind of a future do I want to make and what can I do to achieve that future. Definitely, we all have ambitions and some of them are extreme. But point is, even if we can't all be the president of the Republic of Kenya, even if you all wish to be that, and we can't, but at least we can all commit to have a life that we are proud of based on the choices we made. And so for me, that's my inspiration, that I make some choices that I know I should be proud of later in life about what I become. Yes.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So now, in closing, just give us a final message to medical students out there.
To medical students, I think I would have many things to say. But the things which are running in my head, one is that life is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's like a marathon. As long as you're running forward, you're covering some distance. Yeah. So don't look at people who have gone ahead of you and feel like you've missed something totally, or do some things that make you want to skip some steps in life. I don't think that's right. Take a journey at a time. Everything has its own time. So at this point in time, you are a student. Commit to that particular role of being a student. Gain the best and that you can get at this particular point in time, because there'll be no other opportunity that you'll be again in first year as a medical student. If you've already passed that, there'll be another opportunity that'll be in third year medical student. There'll be another opportunity that'll be a second year medical student. This is the time. So maximize on all the opportunities that you have to maximize on the best you can be at that particular point in time. Then take life one step at a time. In 10 years' time, you'll now be graduated doctors. There'll be something else that you'll be doing at that particular time that you can't do now. But again, there'll be things that you'll be doing that time that you may not have the opportunity to do if you missed. Yeah. So basically, understand that's a journey. As long as you're in that path of walking towards your goal, allow time to take its time, its part. Allow the process, its particular component. Because what I usually see is the tendency to skip the process. That's when you feel like you don't want to attend class, but you want to pass exams.
That is loud for the people at the back.
And I wasn't sent by the dean. You don't want to read, but you want good marks. You don't want to go to the wards, but you want to be a good doctor.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It does not happen that way. Allow the process to take its part and just be part of that particular process. It will come out. It's been tried and tested. That there's some things that when you do this plus this, it's equal to this. It's been tried and tested that 1 plus 2 is actually 3. Or let me use the analogy of input is equals to output. Yeah, so the much you put in is the much that you got outside. So if you put in little in academia, a little will come out. If you put in a lot will come out. Not downgrading the fact that we are all different, but even if you're the type who reads for 1 hour and you grasp everything, how much more will you grasp if you read for 2 hours? If you're the guy who must read for 10 hours to grasp something, then so be it. Read for those 10 hours to grasp something. Point is, if you read for 20 hours, you'll grasp more. So input is equals to output in medical school. That's one thing I'll say. The other thing I want to tell medical students is that have a way in which you look at life beyond money. Have a way that makes you feel that life is fulfilling beyond just finances. Because I'll tell you, I'm financially comfortable where I am. That does not mean that I have more money than everybody else around me. No. It doesn't even mean I have a lot of money. If anything, academia actually doesn't have much money. If you are to become a doctor and do other things vis-a-vis go to academia, you might realize that going to academia has the least financial income. But I've chosen to look at it beyond the money. I've chosen to look at it much more into what is really fulfilling. What is it that when I do, I become fulfilled? So for me, that's more satisfying. And going forward, it gives me a lot of fulfillment to the extent that as long as the money I'm having is actually adequate to meet the things I want to meet at this particular point in my life, I'm good. So that I'm saying this because most or a good number of students who are in medical school would look at their career path and just have a vision of the money only. I'm not saying money is bad. What I'm just saying is that money is not the only parameter to check in this particular path that we're looking at. Yes.
Wisdom by Dr. Beda. It's another YouTube channel. Wisdom by Dr. Beda. All right. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for even sharing your story with us. I'm sure there's someone out there who has definitely resonated with a thing or two you've said.
I think I also hope that there's someone inside here who also.
I have. Hey, wow. This has been amazing. It's been very, very powerful. A lot I've learned.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Okay. You're most welcome. Thank you very much. Okay. Tuko sawa?
Perfect. 50 minutes.
Kumba kuna maswali ngumu? What you did how long?
50 minutes.
50?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It feels short though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 50 minutes.
Okay.
Wanted to do something short and sweet.